A quick overview of who Employment Boost is, where we came from, and all the services that we offer. Um, I founded the company, we can say it was born about 20 years ago when I was launching my recruiting companies and I was coming out of the tech industry kind of at the same time. It kind of went hand in hand that when you're dealing with candidates all day, that they also needed resume help. And it's one of those things that slowly snowballed into its own business unit. And by the time we got around to, the crash in 2008, this business really started to take off. And over time, we have grown into a whole suite of services for consumers and businesses. Obviously, made our name in resume writing to begin with. That's where we got started. I developed what I thought from a business owner's perspective, from an investor's perspective, and as someone that owns headhunting and executive search companies, I wanted to come up with a resume that I felt was appealing to the hiring managers and the executives that are actually making the decisions to hire. I saw a lot of gimmicks out there over the last 20 years, these different styles that people are saying, hey, you got to stand out in the pile. And, the gimmicks don't work at the end of the day. If you don't have the career experience, the background, and the education that the company is looking for, it doesn't matter if your resume is gold plated. So you had to come up with a resume that was well articulated, that communicated your experience well, that looked clean, and no gimmicks. And that was a style I developed. So what I ended up doing is I took 3 different resumes, one that was like the one that I thought was the masterpiece style, and then 2 of the other more common resumes you see on the market, and I started sending them to my recruiting customers. And I'm like, hey, of the 3, just visually, which one gives you the most confidence? Which makes you feel like this person has their career together and there's someone you want to talk to? And hands down, it was the one that I created. And that was my proof of concept at that point. Like I went and tested this with the people that are actually making the hiring decisions and spending the money to employ people. And I'm like, okay, that's like step 1. And then I had to go get some customers to sell these resumes to. So over time, we've been, known as probably the top resume writer in the country in that respect. Leveraging the perspective of business, people that actually do the hiring, and getting away from the opinion. There's a lot of opinion in resume writing. I always listen to the people that do the hiring. My circle of friends that are executives, entrepreneurs, investors, and my customers that we deal with in the executive search world, listening to presidents, listening to executive hiring committees on boards. You get that feedback, and that helps you develop a resume. What I realize is a lot of resume writers out there, and there's some great ones, but there's a lot out there that are companies and individuals that have never hired anybody, and it's a completely different perspective. You might be able to write great English, but can you write a resume that's appealing to someone that is going to sign the bottom of your check? So obviously we're good at resume writing. That morphed also into outplacement services. That's on the business to business side of things, where outplacement is if you're getting let go from a company, for example, a downsizing, a merger. A company will hire an outplacement service to help you transition faster, to go get your resume done, make sure your LinkedIn profile set up, help you apply to jobs, give you some interview coaching, help you negotiate possibly a salary negotiation, all that type of stuff to help you not stay unemployed as long. And it's kind of a benefit companies give to help out their employees as they unfortunately have to downsize. And that whole suite of services allowed us to do a lot of other stuff. We started to morph into more coaching and consulting, where you can get a resume that's great, and then you get an interview, and then you blow it. And I realized that Sometimes I feel people need the coaching more than they need the resume. Um, Resumes are like taxes. You can do them yourself. Sometimes it's better to hire a CPA. You can do a resume and you can get the interview, but can you go in and actually win the job? As someone that's in the recruiting space, I've seen so many people. I've never seen anyone just walk in. Thousands of people I've interviewed. No one's ever walked in and just killed it. Many people have blown it. And that's where we started to do more and more interview coaching, because sometimes I feel the actual interview coaching is more important than the resume. So we do that. We also do, looking at some of our other stuff down here, career planning. Do you not know what you want to do? Where do you want to go? How do you get there? A lot of times we're coaching people that went to college, they got a degree, and they don't want to do what they got that degree in, so what can they do now? You might be 35, 40 years old, and you don't want to spend the rest of your life doing something, so we try to figure out, okay, how do we take these skills you have and what can we translate that into? How do we go build another career somewhere? And we'll use research to figure that out. We'll look at people that made similar transitions and try to map out a path, for example. College planning, it's I can't listen to the high school counselors anymore or the college counselors anymore, no offense. I just, when you talk to, Fortune 100, Fortune 500s and startups all day, and they're telling you that the colleges are not putting out the types of people they need to succeed, it's like, well, who's pushing these kids into these programs? And that's one of those things that's, why would you go get a psychology degree if you have no plans to go into psychology, for example? We step back and say, what is it you want to do? And then we start thinking about, okay, what's the best college for that? And then if you go there, we'll map out the probability of you actually ended up doing that. So the thought on that part is, if you were going to tell us you wanted to go to this college and get this program, and our research said that you have an 80% chance of ending up in sales if you do that, but you don't want to do sales, that might change your mind about picking that college and that program. So we do quite a bit of research to help you figure out, where do I want to go to school? What program should I go into? And even if I want to change careers later in life, how does that help or hurt me? Seminars, we go out to college campuses, major college campuses, and that's what we're known for, is careers and resume writing. We will come out to your college and do seminars. Same thing with the outplacement services over here. If it's a large company, instead of doing the one-on-one where we do like personal coaching and help, sometimes a company hires us to just come out and do a seminar to 100 people on resume writing and that type of stuff. So we are great at seminars. I'm going to skip over here really quick. Personal branding through another company we own called Daggerfin. Not everybody needs this. If you're an executive trying to build a name for yourself, for example, or you're trying to really carve out and be a specialist in your industry, what people see online, what they see on social media, what you see in PR, what happens when someone Googles your name? When someone in HR or talent acquisition or a recruiter Googles your name and they happen to see your name pop up in CNBC and Bloomberg and quotes, it makes you look like more of an authority. So these are things that we help people do to make their profile be a little larger. And then lastly, something new that we've done internally at our own companies, but something we're focusing more on selling externally to companies, is just helping them build a better workforce. Where, we just did a poll, and I want to say it was like, we asked the question of, do you feel like college prepared you for your first job? And it was like 70-something% of people said no, which is not surprising in any way, shape, or form. So the thought is, can we come in to these companies and you got these really smart people, but college didn't really prepare them for the real world? Focusing on professionalism, punctuality, figuring out ways to help them grow faster as a professional. And the idea is, for whatever you pay us, you're going to get back hopefully 5 times that, and ad-libbing a number here, in the performance and output and creativity of that employee. It's just a thought of, you have all this talent in front of you. How do you maximize it? So we want to come in and get people thinking on a different wavelength. A lot of times you come out of college thinking, you already hate a manager that you've never even been hired by yet, and all companies are terrible. Everyone's a micromanager. There's a lot of things we got to break down that I think people come out of college with, and instead of waiting 10 years to figure that out, we want to get that fixed now. So if we can make your employees higher performing, and we even sell this to individuals. The goal is not to tell you what you want to hear. We are here to tell you the things that you need to hear to succeed. I always wanted to be somewhere in my 20s where people were at in their 40s. I wanted to hit that fast forward button. I don't want to spend 15 years trying to figure things out. So whether we're doing that for you as an individual, or we come in and we do it for a whole department, the goal is to hit that fast forward button and get maximum performance for people that want to get somewhere in life. But anyways, that's a quick overview of some of the things we do at Employment Boost. We do quite a bit, but obviously management name and resume services, certified resume writers across the board. Everyone's got a bachelor's degree. We're all in the United States, full-time. Outplacement, we've got coaches. We do seminars. We do it all. If you want to get somewhere in life, if you want to build a better workforce, if you want to help your employees transition to a job faster after a layoff, Employment Boost is the company for you. You can obviously call us over here. We try to get back to you within 1 hour during business hours, Monday through Friday. We take customer service very seriously. Otherwise, contact page, hit us up at one of our locations. We're in Detroit, Cleveland, Denver, Chicago. We are all over the place. That's all I got for this episode, though. I will catch you on the next one.